We're getting pretty good at using options, and so now this is a good time to switch over to result, which is kind of like the cousin of option. It looks kind of similar, but you use it in a different context. And first, it's also an enum. So first, I'll just show option again. So you have it's of generic, any kind of type T, and it has none or some. And result is also similar, but you can see right away it has two types, and they call it T and E, and E is because this is going to be the error type, so it's like a little hint that it's an error. And instead of none and some, it has OK, and the T goes inside there, and then there's error for error, and E goes in there. So the big difference right away you can see is that in option there's no information here, there's nothing to get, but with a result you have you have some information, and that makes sense because errors, you want to know what kind of error is it. Is it like an IO error? Is it couldn't find the file? Did you try to parse, like to make a number, but it's a letter and it doesn't know how to make it into a number? And so there are lots and lots and lots and lots of error types. You don't have to make them yet, and I'll just show you if you go to the documentation just to see how many there are. If you search for error, you can see there's like a try into error, try from error, there's a diagnostic error, into inner error. So anything that can fail, you'll probably see like an error type for it. And then if you look at the source, if you're in the documentation, this SRC here lets you peek at the source, and here's the source for one of the errors, and you have all this code, and it's saying already mutably borrowed, and it's giving you this information on errors. So we don't have to do that yet, fortunately. We'll make the simplest not even error type, the simplest result possible. And just to make sure that we know what we're talking about, option is maybe there's something, maybe there's nothing. That is when you use an option. And result is maybe it will work, or maybe it will fail. So that's how you know when you want to use an option or a result. So let's see, if you are, let's comment this out as well. So if you are returning an error, you let's say you have a function, you want to call it check error, and let's say you are going to return a result, and these results are like that. So what are you going to return when it works, and what are you going to return when it doesn't work? So maybe you're doing something that wants to make a string, and so maybe it'll work and maybe it won't, and you can return a string. And then if it doesn't work, what do you want to return? Well, fortunately, if you don't want to, you don't have to return anything just to start. And actually, you can even do this. So return nothing when it works and return nothing when it doesn't. So this will be the simplest one. And for this, we return, let's just return an OK. So we return an OK, and inside the OK is nothing. So this is, you might see this a lot, this double parentheses, and this means, OK, and inside the OK is the empty tuple. So returning nothing inside of OK. And then we go to main, and we just use our check error function, and let's see what we get. And it will work. It returned us nothing. It compiled, and it just gave us this warning, and it's saying, there's it could be an error. So it's just Rust saying, you know, don't you care? Like you made this result and you didn't tell me what to do if there's an error. So why don't you tell me that? And so we can make this a little bit more like a real error check, and we can change it to give result, and we will take an i32, and it will also return a result of nothing if it works and nothing if it doesn't work. But this time we will actually check a little bit. So let's say if input, we're going to check if it's even or odd. So if input modulo 2 equals 0, so we want it to be okay if it's an even number. So we go return okay with nothing inside. And this is a good example of where you do see the return keyword, because we're not at the end of the function. So sometimes you do use a return, and then else you can return error, and also inside error is nothing, empty tuple. So you do that. Let's close this. Then now we go to main, and we will actually check this. And you know how in option you have is sum and is none. Result has the same thing. It has is okay and is error. So you can do that to check to see if it's one or the other. And so we will go to, let's say, if give result 5 is okay. We will say the number is okay. Okay, guys. And then else we're going to say print line. There's something, or it's an error. And then we will run that. And there we go. So it's an error. So which is good, because we gave it a 5. It goes to here. It says, you know, is it an even number? If so, it would return okay. Else it would return an error. So that is as basic as errors get, and we'll look at them in more detail in the next video.